Breaking news yesterday. Man, this is awesome. This is awesome. I even talked to Sean. I know they're going to talk about it on their show today. I'd be shocked if they don't. Crossing the aisle from noon to 1 right here at WYAB. Sean even loves this. The resident Democrat loves this, and he's got an emotional story. I'll let him tell his personal story about it if he wants to. But slashing these pharmaceutical prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals by 30 to 80% effective immediately after he signs that today, using the most favored nation policy, forcing Big Pharma to match the lowest global rates. I'm just going to read the whole thing. This is what Trump said on his Truth Social yesterday. I'm fired up about this. I really, really am. Because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that can't afford insurance and having to duck and dodge and bob and weave and do everything and just hoping they don't get hurt. Anyway, here we go. This is from Trump yesterday on Truth Social. Quote, "For many years, the world has wondered why prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals in the United States of America were so much higher in price than they were in any other nation, sometimes being 5 to 10 times more expensive than the same drug manufactured in the exact same laboratory or the exact same plant by the exact same company. It was always difficult to explain and very embarrassing because, in fact, there was no correct or rightful answer. Pharmaceutical/drug companies would say for years that it was research and development costs and that all of these costs were and would be for no reason whatsoever borne by the, quote, suckers, unquote, of America alone." Saying suckers of America alone. I really wish he would run his stuff through AI and let it fix the grammar and punctuation. I do. It's no shame. Anyway, Trump says, "Campaign contributions can do wonders, but not with me and not with the Republican Party. We are going to do the right thing, something that the Democrats have fought for many years. Therefore, I am pleased to announce that tomorrow morning in the White House at 9 a.m., I will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history." Man, I hope they keep in every available Secret Service agent in America around Trump right now. I wouldn't eat nothing. I wouldn't drink nothing. I mean, they're going to try to kill him. They are not going to let him sign this. There's no way. Continuing on, picking back up. Prescription drugs and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 30 to 80%. However, they will rise throughout the world in order to equalize and for the first time in many years bring fairness to America. I will be instituting a most favored nations policy whereby the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world. Our country will finally be treated fairly, and our citizens' healthcare costs will be reduced by numbers never even thought of before. Additionally, on top of everything else, the United States will save trillions and trillions of dollars. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Now, you know, and I know, and I hadn't even looked on X yet. I'm sure there's a running pile of Democrats running right off a cliff somewhere talking about, but I like overpaying for my medicine. We're going to screw the little man somewhere else in the world. Anyway, let's take a call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
Hey, Clay.
Hey.
It's Smokey.
Hey.
Hey, just want to bring up the Judge Sotomayor this weekend, what she done and everything. Went to that meeting or something, the ABA or something like that, and was telling them, hey, they need to fight Trump in the courts, I guess.
But okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Run this back. Start over with me. There was a meeting this morning. What now? Or this weekend?
No, there was a meeting this weekend, some kind of get together for the judges, and she was the guest speaker. And
Sotomayor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sotomayor was, and she brought up that, hey, we need to fight, fight against Trump, I guess it was. And came out with those words pretty much, and it's pretty interesting for a judge, especially a Supreme Court judge, to come out so biased, But we know she is,
Yeah, I missed that, but I'll go back and see if I can find it here during the break.
Oh, yeah.
And pull it up.
It was big news, yeah. That's probably worth talking about.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Appreciate it, brother.
No problem.
Yeah, I missed that yesterday. But look, what do you guys think? We're going to take a break, come back. I want to peel this onion back a little bit. Prescription drug costs coming down 30 to 80% pretty much immediately. I love it. Democrats have been running on this forever. Trump just got it done, or about to get it done. We'll see if I can't find some reactions from Democrats. Caller, stay on hold. We'll come back to you. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Jackson, Mississippi claims that murder rates are down 50% from last year. Now, I don't dispute this claim. I do not. But I do not think that it's a trend that maintains. It ain't even got hot yet. Once it gets hot out and school gets out, it's on, son. You don't think they'll catch up and have 11 more homicides real quick? 11 ain't nothing. Or 22, whatever. They were at 44 a year ago. They're at 22 this year. And 20 of them have been solved, so that's very commendable. Their solving rate is good, but they're not exactly dealing with real rocket scientists, engineers, or astronauts. That's just something funny that we say. I mean, y'all know that they're not really future rocket scientists. I mean, surely y'all do know that, right? So, but hey, look, I can't always kick rocks and throw dirt on them. When they do something good, I got to give them credit. But I'm sure most of this credit goes to Capitol Police. Let's just be honest here. Let's just be honest. Most of this, if you track it down and you really look at it, most of this credit goes to Capitol Police. I firmly believe that. It's just the fear that they have struck in these fools. And actually, arresting people. People knowing, hey, if I fool around, there's a dang old good chance I'm going to find out if I do it over there where them Capitol Police is at. So, we'll see. Hey, I'm pulling for them, man. We need a safe, secure Jackson, Mississippi. I mean, the whole thing was called Save Jackson for a reason. We want them to be successful. So they'll quit coming over into Flowood and Pearl and Brandon and Madison and Ridgeland with their culture. I like to keep all the culture into one area. I got culture fatigue. Jason Whitlock. Gosh, man, I would love the chance to get to talk to Jason. If anybody knows Jason personally, I would love to have an opportunity to have a conversation with him. But I don't want to seem like a bugaboo reaching out. Jason, I'd like to be on the show. But boy, me and Jason we could talk, son. He did a show yesterday over there at the Blaze, and they put his shows on YouTube. You don't have to be a member or subscriber or nothing like that. Jason did a show yesterday about the very topic that we did yesterday, black fatigue. And he said the same thing that I said. It is sweeping the internet. It went viral over the weekend. And he refers to the people that we're fatigued with are the unfathered. Man, they did some graphics, and I'm going to try to find them during this break. They did some graphics for the unfathered, and they took that statue of that fat black woman they just put in Times Square, and they put the Godfather logo above her, and it says unfathered, the unfathered. Oh my. What were they thinking? Putting that statue of that fat, average-looking black woman in Times Square. Who were they honoring? And, And look, and the only reason I know some white liberals were behind this because of all the obvious reasons, other than because of all the obvious reasons, is they interviewed the head white liberal that did this. And of course, what is that word they like to, representation. Because he used that word representation when he was explaining why they put this random fat black woman in Times Square. It's great. All right. As I said, we're going to stay on schedule today. 4 10-minute segments. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're going to see if we can run back Jason Whitlock's comments yesterday on this very topic right here, talking about black fatigue. And we may run that interview. We may run that reel back with that guy went nuclear viral talking about it. If y'all want to chime in this morning, you're welcome to. It is an open forum for the first hour. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Les White, watching on Facebook, says, it's funny how they criticize, denigrate, and hate on the white culture, but quick to want to benefit from being in proximity to them. They neglected to maintain their house, and it burned down. And now they expect to move in with you, and we were supposed to accept it and shut up. That's not happening. No, it's like what I've said. You don't get to reap the benefits of living in a lawless society. And by benefits of lawless society, I mean, you don't get to reap the rewards of living like trash and littering everywhere and, I'm just going to say it here, piss poor policing. All that is beneficial to somebody who likes to be out there riding dirty, not having a driver's license, got warrants, wants to treat the streets of Jackson like it's a scene in Grand Theft Auto. I mean, if you want to come set up a criminal enterprise somewhere, Jackson, Mississippi is the place for you. Come on down, get what you're here for. Like a Boots and More commercial. Just set up shop. Take over somebody's house. They ain't got no squatter laws on the books yet. A lot of y'all voted for this. And if you didn't, you wasn't paying attention. And you still voted for it. And shame on you for voting without paying attention. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of black folks out there that the only thing you got to tell them to get their vote is, I understand all your problems aren't your fault. I understand that your problems are because of white flight and racism and systemic racism, infrastructural racism. And I understand that you're never going to be anything else in life, and I'm okay with that. You got my vote. Versus somebody coming and saying, hey, man, we're going to help pick you up. We're going to quit making excuses. You're going to have some accountability. You're going to have to look in the mirror and say, Pookie, you did this to yourself. You may not have been born on third base, but that still ain't no excuse for sitting on the porch all day drunk, robbing, stealing, killing, drug dealing. You found enough money to go record that single to sell at the gas station to folks minding their own business. You can get enough money together to go get a decent outfit and go find a job. Anyway. You don't get to reap the benefits of living in a lawless society. Vote your schools into hell. Vote your city into a third world hellscape. And then think, well, you know what? Some mistakes have been made. I ain't know that these people would also screw up the schools. I need my little one to go to a better school. But I still want to live over here because I don't want to have to tighten my belt buckle quite enough to have to act right and go live and do what it takes to live in Rankin County or Madison County and act right and get my license unsuspended, drive with insurance, get the warrants cleaned up, not ride dirty. That's what they want to do. They want to continue to reap all the benefits of that without having to make those sacrifices that so many others of us have made. I had to leave my Jackson in Jackson when I moved to Brandon. And I was living about as right as anybody could in Jackson, but even I had a few tendencies of the culture. We'll be right back to land the plane for the day on the Clay Edwards Show. Staying on time. How about that for once? Let's go to the text machine. Rankin text in, says, I could talk to you all morning about the results of a fatherless upbringing, but I'm at work and cannot. A criminal life is not automatic, but that bond with other males for acceptance is much more attractive when there is no guiding male in the home. Is that from today? Yeah. He also says, no, that's from a couple days ago. No. It's just from today. He also says, proportionately, there is a problem in the black community where we turn to violence as the answer. Why is the murder rate so high in Black Jackson and Black Canton, but not black communities in Ridgeland, Pearl, and other black communities in Mississippi? We black Mississippians have to ask ourselves that question and be willing to accept the answer. It's the culture in these urban cities. It's the hood rat culture, whatever you want to call it. And then I believe, and I see it with my own eyes, people may not want to admit it, but even out in these suburbs, and it's one of the reasons I'm firmly against school choice. And I don't care why y'all don't like the fact that I'm against school choice, but the fact is, you don't want the culture bleeding into the suburbs. You don't want the unfathered culture bleeding into the suburbs. Let me say the quiet part out loud. Everybody, all those clowns that try to call anybody that disagrees with, especially these conservative clowns that try to call anybody that disagrees with school choice a racist. They're not saying the quiet part out loud, or, they're saying the quiet part out loud. Now, I will say the quiet part out loud. People in the suburbs moved out there because they don't want to be around your badass kids. That's why they moved. They don't want your badass kids getting a free pass to go to school in the suburbs and bringing the culture with them. Like I said, it's like a cancer. It just grows and expands and it kills everything it touches. And then you have white kids that want to be black. You got black suburban kids that want to be, when I say black, I don't mean like that. I mean like they want to be hood. They want to be hard. This rap music is killing society. And it's dumbed down so bad now that it's truly killing society. But you have these white kids growing up listening to this crap. They want to act it out. You got these black suburban kids that feel like they need to prove that they're harder, a lot of them, not all of them, but I see it. So you can't tell me it ain't happening. It's 100% happening. So you want to let the kid come over from Jackson and bring all that with him, and he's going to be influential. And he's going to influence these kids out here to do some bad stuff. I just keep going back. The lady don't like me, and I don't like her, so I don't really care. I still have sympathy for her losing 2 sons. But, that lady who moved her 2 sons out there to the Flowood area, to the 047 area, Northwest Rankin, and they both got killed about a month apart because they just couldn't leave that Jackson crap in Jackson. One went to Jackson and got killed hanging out with a little thug from Jackson, trying to play hard and stuff when he should have kept his butt over in Rankin County. And then the other, depending on what story you believe, so I want to say allegedly, was selling a gun that allegedly belonged to his mom for her to another kid, then tried to rob that kid in his own driveway. It was a white kid, tried to rob him because he didn't think that white kid would do anything. Well. He learned that we fight back. He shot and killed the kid in his own driveway. Tyler fights back. I don't know his name, Tyler, but, that's the name that they've generically given white kids, modern white kids. And, those are two great examples, or terrible examples, depending upon your perspective, of the kind of stuff that comes over from Jackson. Now, they weren't affected by school choice. They moved over there. I imagine Section 8 is why that's how they got over there. Or some HUD, whatever. I don't know. So HUD, Section 8 is the same thing. I don't know. I've never been on either. I'm not knocking anybody that has, that use it as a hand up, not a handout, not a career choice. People do need help. I don't have a problem with giving people assistance in hard times. I hope I never need it. We all hope we never need it, but it ain't never going to be a career choice. Too many of y'all have made it a career choice. Miss Angela called in here the other day, and she took that hammer, she took that nail, she lined it right up. Talking about these Section 8 queens that have been on it so long, they're passing it down to their kids like it's an inheritance. Which I didn't even know you could do that. But apparently that's happening. So that's those are two great examples of why people don't want the culture, or that's why I'm telling you the culture don't need to spill over into Rankin County via school choice, or frankly anything else any more than it already has. Now, if you truly want to get out of Jackson and you want to make a change for your life, you want to get your kids away from that, please, by all means, you are welcome with open arms. Just leave the Jackson crap in Jackson. Another example before we take a break. The kid, he's 18, but he was still a kid he was still a student at Northwest Rankin that shot the cop in Flowood right there in front of the Applebee's and got himself killed. Had just moved over to his mama's house in Flowood in the last year. And he just had to bring that Jackson mentality with him. And it got him killed. If you want to change, if you want to get away from these streets, and you want to get away from the culture, it takes a commitment. It's hard to change your culture. Look, I did drugs, I partied, I owned clubs. I had my own rotten culture. And it was hard work to change my lifestyle. Metallica has a song on that Saint Anger album, which I hate that album, but I love this song. It's called Lifestyle or Death Style, but it's like the hook. My lifestyle determines my death style. My lifestyle determines my death style. Live by the gun, die by the gun is what I heard. Live by the bottle, die by the bottle. Live by the culture, die by the culture. We'll be right back. All right, where shall we go? So I think the first thing here is I shared a picture last night. I had a buddy of mine who witnessed this firsthand. So I feel confident that all this is true and accurate. He's a guy that's been on this show before. I'm not going to tell you his name, but it's just I trust my source. He has no reason to lie about this. He lives out in Clinton. He walks into a restaurant, Santa Fe. I posted a picture. I might as well say the name. Walks into Santa Fe. He says, man, there's old people walking out on canes and walkers trying to get out the door. He's like, up in the balcony, group of black folks screaming and hooting and hollering. Then got in a fight and a gun gets pulled. Cops get called. Somebody goes to jail. And this is what I talk about. This is the culture. It's spilling over. This is that Jackson urban culture that nobody wants to be a part of. This is that black fatigue that everybody keeps talking about. Mostly black people talking about it. Every clip I have found talking about black fatigue outside of this radio show is black people talking about black fatigue. They typically use another word. They call it in fatigue. But, we're going to stick with the black here. I don't like saying black. I like saying the culture fatigue, because I think that defines it better. Because it ain't just black. It's just people that live by this culture, just this hip hop culture, this Democrat death culture. It's culture fatigue. I'm slap dang tired of it. Everybody's tired of it. Whether there's a bunch of blue hairs showing their baboon butts at a coffee shop, out in front of an abortion clinic, or wherever else, marching with their BLM shirts on, burning down black neighborhoods because, love black people, let's go burn down their neighborhoods. Or it's black people up in a balcony at a restaurant, a family restaurant, fighting and pulling guns on each other while there's senior citizens around, or anybody else for that matter. People are tired of hashtag the culture. And there's not enough people that wield influence within the culture talking back about it and calling it out. All they do is sit back and get tribal the second somebody that doesn't look like them calls it out. Oh, Emmett Till. Oh, civil rights. Oh, slavery. Oh, shut the hell up. How about, look in the mirror and have some accountability. Have some discipline. So, and I'm not blaming Santa Fe on this, because if they had turned them away, well, that'd been a whole nother fuss. But you know how you take this stuff over and how you fix this? It's just like when they tried to, when they came after Chick-fil-A a few years ago. All the Christian folks said, oh, hell no. Hell no. That ain't working, hoss. Not Chick-fil-A. Not God's chicken. What did they do? They protested. They created, not Chick-fil-A, America created Chick-fil-A Day. And it's dang near a national holiday now. Now, I know the good man that ran it has since passed on, and the family ain't as in the faith as he was. I think they'd open on Sundays if it was up to a lot of them. I know a lot of these extreme rainbow supremacists hate the man, think he was evil, all that, because he was against gay marriage and all that stuff. Slippery slope. Like Rush Limbaugh said, slippery slope. We went from gay marriage to trans bathrooms, kids cosplaying as kitty cats, having a litter box at schools, kids under 18 having their wee-wees cut off. Slippery slope. While I may not on the surface disagree with gay marriage, I had a lot of gay friends. Had a lot of gay friends at one point anyway. Had gay friends. Slippery slope. I don't personally mind if they get married. Doesn't affect my day-to-day life. What you do in your bedroom doesn't affect me. It's what you do when you bring that stuff from your bedroom out of it that affects me. Drag queen happy hour. Drag queen story time. All age drag shows. All started with gay marriage. Slippery slope. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. You need to get out there. If you live in Clinton and you like Santa Fe, you don't need to avoid it. You need to double down. Don't surrender the space. That's how South Jackson. That's how West Jackson. That's how every other part of Jackson that's gone to hell in a handbasket went to hell in a handbasket. It's folks threw the white flag up and surrendered the space. Now, that doesn't mean telling people they can't come here. No, everybody's welcome. That means if you're going to come here, We're going to hold you to a standard to be allowed to stay here. We're not going to tolerate the culture. We're going to be Karens. We're going to be Barbecue Becky. We're going to call the cops when you don't act right. Damn your ethnicity, your sexuality, your race, your religion. It doesn't matter. We're going to start holding you accountable. You're going to start acting right in public. We're going to start demanding that when these videos come out of like the Margarita's brawl, that Chief Joseph Wade, where you at, man? You talk a lot. Chief, you talk a lot. And this is coming from somebody that talks a lot. But I just don't see the action. Why haven't you perp walked everybody you could identify in that Margarita's brawl? To set an example that if you act like this in public, you're going to go to jail. Even if it's just long enough to get bonded out. And you're going to know that you got to deal with the pain in the ass of going to jail, getting a bail bondsman, holler at Liberty Bail Bonds if you do. Or you're going to, you're going to have to go to court and just do all that and pay a fine. Will that teach everybody a lesson? No, because there's a bunch of knuckleheads out there with a criminal record a mile long and ain't none of it taught them a lesson. But it at least shows that you're going to do something. Because as of right now, I just see Chief Wade and this entire administration and JPD as just a bunch of do-nothings. But you talk good. You talk good. I mean, I think it's finally time somebody calls it out. It's like a propaganda arm for Chokwe Lumumba. Now, with that said, I hope that John Horn or Kim Wade or Zach Service, whoever the next mayor of Jackson is, I hope they keep Joseph Wade and take the golden handcuffs off and let us see if he can walk it like he talks it. Now, also, I know that fight was in Clinton, not Jackson. I'm just making the most recent fight was in Clinton, and they showed up and arrested people. Unlike JPD at Margarita's. And I know all of Jackson ain't under JPD's control anymore. There's a large part of it that's under control of Capitol Police. And coincidentally, the murder rate's down 50% in Jackson this year. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess if you look at the murder map and you look at the dots from last year and this year, there's lots of dots missing from the CCID versus the other areas that's not controlled by the Capitol Police. That's just a sneaking suspicion. Just a sneaking suspicion that the overwhelming majority of the 22 current murders in Jackson happened in South Jackson and West Jackson. Not Northeast Jackson, Fondren, Belhaven, and North Jackson. Just got a sneaking suspicion. Well, North Jackson would be back in JPD. And I bet you there have been some out there. But you just start setting examples. There's no reason that you hadn't looked at that video, identified some of those people, and perp walked them. Just to say we're not going to tolerate this in our city anymore. But you ain't going to do it. Let's take a break. Phone lines wide open, 601-879-0002. Question of the day, is Chief Wade all talk? Or is he just being held back by Chokwe? Let me know. I want to hear phone calls for this. 601-879-0002, the Mazda Jackson phone line. We'll be right back. Hope that made sense. Hey, real quick. I've been getting up earlier this week. I've been working on this for about 2 weeks, trying to get up like 10 minutes earlier every morning. Instead of just saying, I'm only going in an hour. I'm just going to suddenly start waking up an hour and a half earlier. That wasn't going to happen. So I've been waking up in 10, 15-minute increments earlier every morning. I've gotten my way to 4:30, and that's going to be it. I don't foresee getting up any earlier than 4:30 unless I go to bed really, really early like I did night 4 last at 7:30. But with that said, it's been really nice this week having that extra hour to get here, hour and a half really, to get here, not be in a rush, look at some fresh show prep, finish up a little digital stuff, video editing, planning, whatever. I got an office here. What's a shared office, but I'm the only person usually here using it, so I'll call it my office. And man, it's made a big difference. I've also got back to listening to some more motivational self-help, whatever you want to call it. I call it non-incendiary content, non-news and culture content, podcast, some books and whatnot. And I've stumbled across a book that I want to share with you guys that I'm just loving right now. It's Cameron Haynes, a world famous bow hunter and runner. He's got a new book out. You can find it on Audible if you want to do the audiobook. The audiobook is called Undeniable. And it's got a lot of talk in there about bow hunting, but not from the sense of like how to bow hunt, but using his bow hunting and his running and his lifting as examples of how you can become undeniable. So you can use it as the analogy for anything. And I'm going to tell you, man, between the last couple of weeks where I've done this heavy hitters entrepreneur show and I've had some people in here that had really good stories, it's had your boy fired up. So been waking up earlier, trying to create my own luck via hard work, so to say. And man, it really paid off yesterday. Closed one of the biggest deals, if not the biggest deal in this show's history. Really excited about that. And I just got a little pep in my step. Feels good. Feels good. So let's do that real quick. Let's make a big announcement here on this show. We are no longer the byfafo.com studios. That was a filler. We are now officially the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. Technically, it's Men's Health of Mississippi and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. We'll get into. I'm not going to take a deep dive into everything right now, but just want to welcome an expanded partnership with Men's Health of Mississippi. I want to welcome a new partnership with Women's Wellness of Mississippi. And we're going to do some big, big things and have some great offerings for Clay Edwards Show and WYAB listeners to help you guys get healthy, get your mojo back, find that fountain of youth, lose that weight that you've been trying to lose, having a hard time with, finding a little discipline. We'll be doing lots of great stuff. So really excited about that. Really excited at the opportunity to be able to tell you more about their offerings beyond just testosterone and compounded semaglutide. So stay tuned. Starting next week, we'll really be taking a dive into that more often. So again, super excited and want to welcome to and thanks to Dr. Michael Walker, Scott McCullough, the whole team there at Men's Health of Mississippi and Women's Wellness of Mississippi. Welcome to the show in an even bigger way than you were already here. You guys have been out and you've supported them. Y'all, the listeners, when we ask y'all to help do stuff, we ask y'all to support these sponsors. There's reasons why. A lot of them track where their ad dollars are being spent best. And like a smart man, if you see that your ad dollars are being spent well here, you're seeing ROI on that, well, hey, why don't you give me some more of that? Let's, if we spend a little more, maybe we can make a little more or a lot more. And that's exactly what they've done. I've seen advertisers that say, man, we're just going to cut it back. We're not seeing quite what we want to see, so we're going to cut it back some. You know, starving something is never the answer to the problem unless you're trying to lose weight. And in this analogy, spending less means you're going to make less. You want to spend more for people to hear more. It makes sense. Your advertising budget needs to be a very, very important part of what you do. Well, whether it's creating, air quotes in the studio, organic advertising or massive media campaigns. So really excited about that. Really excited about that. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Might as well just turn this into a quick ad read for them. Real quick. Men's Health of Mississippi. Get your complimentary testosterone screening today, or schedule it today, should I say. Fatigue, I'm fatigued, all right. We've been talking about fatigue all week. I wonder if it'll fix that kind of fatigue. Decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, brain fog, sleep disturbances. And I know y'all get tired of hearing me say it, but man, guys, one of the first surefire signs that your testosterone ain't where it needs to be is lack of the morning wood. I shouldn't have to tell you anymore. You know what it is. You know what it is, what it ain't. Your wife knows. Your significant other knows. That's a sure sign if you're over 35 or so, and you're not. And it's not a problem. You need to get it checked. 601-327-8550. Text my name, Clay. 601-327-8550. There, it is not like a normal doctor's office. It's like a hunting lodge up in there. It's really cool, laid back. You're gonna go in. They're gonna draw a little bit of blood, and boom, you're gone. They'll call you back. They'll tell you how your blood levels came out, your testosterone levels, your estrogen, stuff like that. And then if you agree to move, they agree that you qualify to be a patient. You'll move forward, and they'll do more in-depth blood panels and really start working on any problems you may have. I'm telling you, your health is important. And look, they don't take insurance. You don't need it with them. It's not expensive like that. I'm telling you, you can afford this. I mean, you may have to give up 5-hour energies. You may have to give up that mocha chocolate $7 drink you're buying every day. I mean, you may have to make a sacrifice if your budget's tight like that. But the rewards you're going to reap from this are going to far exceed whatever immediate, quick dopamine rush you were getting from a 5-hour energy. And I'm just picking 5-hour energy because those are the things I need to drop out of my day-to-day diet that is an absolute waste of my money. When I'm eating right and living right, and I got ketones burning instead of carbs burning for energy, I don't need any caffeine at all. I am operating at max strength when I'm burning ketones instead of carbs. So I'm kind of talking to myself here. All right, look, didn't mean to turn the whole segment into an ad read there, but it was a little motivational speech too, I hope. Start waking up early, getting some time to yourselves. Be disciplined. I'm going to play a clip real quick. Well, no, and it kind of closing out that last thing about a little self-help, motivation, whatever. This is about discipline. It's only 49 seconds long, but this is in the new book by Cameron Haynes. The book's called Undeniable. I'm about halfway through it. I cannot recommend this enough if you're looking just, for something positive. Maybe you need a little extra push across the finish line to get motivated, to get where you're going. Really, really good stuff here. Here we go.
There's only one way to get them, and that's to go through the fire. And that's available to anyone. The gates are open. Come on in. There's a common theme to the people that I follow on social media. Maybe it's just an algorithm controlling my life, but every person I see who is influential right now, Goggins, Jocko, and Rogan, just to mention a few, are all fit and disciplined. This prompted me to ask Chris Williamson, another person I put in this category, are there influential people who are not disciplined? Well, think about it this way, Chris answered. Do you think that the most successful people in the world became successful and then got disciplined? Or do you think that they became disciplined and then got successful?
How about that? The most successful people they know right now are also the most disciplined they know. And he named off some people I'm very familiar with. David Goggins, Jocko Willink, Joe Rogan, Chris Williamson. It's like, well, that's simple. And by discipline, they're healthy, they're fit. They can control what they put in their mouths. That's the hardest thing in the world to do. It's the one thing we have the full ability to do is to control what we put in our mouths. Yeah, there should be no excuse. But we all make them. I'm in a rush. It's all that was there. It's tempting. It tastes good. It's the one thing we have full control. It's expensive to eat healthy. No, it's not. It's expensive not to eat healthy. These are all things I tell myself on a daily basis. This is like I'm not shaming y'all. I'm shaming me because I know how much better I feel when I'm clicking on all cylinders, eating right. Mississippi Mud Monsters. I've been telling y'all your boy was going to be throwing out the first pitch tonight. I went to the first game. Bought me a hat, came back here, wore the hat on the stream, gave y'all a good review of them. It was an honest review. I don't take anything back. Wish I hadn't bought the hat. Neither here nor there. I was getting ready to reach out. They reached out to me a couple weeks ago and asked, hey, man, would you like to throw out the first pitch on May 15th? I didn't hesitate. I'm like, heck yeah, man. That's cool. When I first started this show, WYAB was the radio station for the Braves home games. And Kim Wade had a banner out in the outfield. And that was like one of my little goals I'd set in the back of my mind was, I don't want to knock Kim off, but I want a Clay Edwards show one out there too. Or maybe Kim and I can share a billboard. Whatever. However we got to go, I want my face out on that wall. Well, you know, throwing out the first pitch is a nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Consolation. And then their sales department's been in touch with me about doing some, want me to come out there and broadcast live and, doing some trade outs and, this, that, and the other, trade a suite for some advertising and this, that, and the other. And, so clearly they want to be involved with the Clay Edwards show, but not involved enough to tell me that they found somebody else they wanted to throw out the first pitch tonight. And I find that out by seeing that person's Facebook page. This is nothing against her. Absolutely nothing against her. I have no problem with young Miss Hannah Lane. I love Miss Hannah Lane. She's earned everything she's gotten, and then some. She's going to be huge. I keep telling y'all. Anytime you've heard me talk about her, she came to our concert there at McBee's as a representative of Rock 93, and I told people there, enjoy her while you have her, Mississippi, because she's going to be in Nashville, and she's going to be a star in the radio business, and I stand by that. However, I should not have found out that they had gone a different direction by seeing her Facebook post the day before the event. So what I have decided to do is I Googled how to put a spell on a sports franchise for doing you dirty. And it seems like the one that seems to be the most efficient, the one that seems to have worked the best, is the Billy Goat curse that was put on the Chicago Cubs for kicking a lady in her Billy Goat. Somebody said, Clay, we just call them goats. Well, it's more fun to say Billy Goat. Kicked her and her Billy Goat out of the stadium. So with that said, I am in search for somebody that's got a little free time and a trailer. I got a truck. We'll hook it up. I need to borrow your Billy Goat. This isn't no weird internet stuff. I'll be filming it. Again, no weird internet stuff. I need to borrow your Billy Goat. I'm going to Trustmark Park. And we're going to go up to the front gates with the goat. And I'm going to cast I need a witch for this. If anybody knows a witch that's familiar with casting spells, I have a former bartender that told me she was a witch one time. I don't know what Megan's doing now. Anyway, that was for real too, by the way. I'm going to cast a spell on them, and they're never going to win another game. And they started the losing streak off last night by just me talking about it. So I have the directions on how to do this curse. The internet's a wild place. I used AI, went to Grok. I said, Grok, how exactly do I cast a spell with a Billy Goat on a sports team? It had all the answers right there. Phenomenal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read those to you real quick before we go to break. I'm going to try to give you the Cliff Notes version here without reading all the details. About 6 steps here. First, you got to acquire a Billy Goat. 2, you have to choose your target team to put the hex on. 2, you have to craft your spell's intent. It means to decide your curse and to decide what your curse entails. Historically, C&E's, that was the woman's name who got kicked out of the Cubs game and said they would never win another World Series. Your spell had to be specific. Mine is, i.e., never win another game or never win a championship. How about that? You'll trip into winning a game, and then people will say the curse didn't work. 4, you got to stage a theatrical scene. That I can do. We can stage a theatrical scene. We're going to do the Billy Goat at the front entrance of the stadium. I'm going to burn the hat that I bought like some sage. And I'm going to cast my spell. 5, you have to seal the spell with some symbolisms. Cianus sent a telegram to the Cubs owner, P.K. Wrigley, saying, "Who stinks now?" You could write a mock letter or post on social media declaring your curse to the team's management, including a goat emoji for flair. Alternatively, leave a small goat figurine near the stadium as a charm. I like it. We've already done the social media post declaring it. 6, you have to set a reversal condition. I'm not far enough into this yet to be ready to start talking about reversal conditions. We'll decide what the reversal condition is later. Now, somebody with the team called me last night. I didn't answer the phone. It was a little later. I was going to bed. They shot me a text. Clearly, they know how I feel about this. There won't be any trade outs. You want to do business with the Clay Edwards Show, it can be done through the WYAB sales office. Let's take a break. Come back here and get on some serious stuff. Well, it'll have to be after the top of the hour, but we're going to talk about the brawl at the Clinton restaurant and how we start taking back territory instead of giving up territory. We're going to talk about the black nurse that says she likes to kill white patients. Yeah, that's a true story. And now she has started to GoFundMe because she knows that her black folks is strong and empowered and will support her. The end is so near. The end is so near. And not the end of this show either, by the way. The end of Earth. We'll be right back. We are live back here on 103.9 FM WYAB. Real quick, before we get to our guest, I can't think of a better sponsor to do an ad read for before we do this. 042 Wine and Liquors, right there across Gates, Brandon, Highway 80, right next to Sonny's Barbecue. Seems like a great place to stop by and stock up for all your good times that are going to be coming up, whether you're by the pool, on the big water at the Cove, upriver at Flag Island, or anywhere else in between, out on the boat this summer, jamming. My good friend, Mr. Charlie Reese, and his good buddy, Mr. Brett Scallion, on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Let's welcome the two guys to the show. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. What's up, everybody? How are y'all?
Man, we are doing good. So we got Charlie Reese. He is a musician, singer. He's the founder, host of one of my favorite podcasts, the X5 podcast. Maybe y'all have seen it. Maybe you haven't. You should now that I've told you about it if you hadn't. And Brett Scallion, you may recognize that name, former lead singer, platinum selling artist of the band Fuel. Man, so cool to have you guys on the show this morning, guys. You just dropped this new single here that we all are super excited about, Somewhere They'll Never Know. The video looks like it was filmed out on Lake Norman or somewhere. It looks awesome. Where was it filmed?
It was actually, Clay, well, first of all, thank you so much, man, for having us on.
Yeah.
But it was actually filmed here on Smith Lake here in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Coleman County. It's where I actually live. I live out here on the lake. And so, man, you know all about that lake life. So it's just, nothing like a southern, lake in the summertime. It's just a vibe, right? So I wanted to capture a lot of, hometown stuff right there and put a lot of people we knew in the video and just make it a celebration. You know what I mean?
No, you nailed it, brother. I mean, you really did. You call it you said a vibe, and that's what it is. It's a vibe. It's the song of the summer. It has the chance to be anyway. We're going to do our part over here to help make it the song of the summer. And really excited about it. So I've been watching the podcast for a couple of years. Brett, I've been following you I saw you guys back here at Howlin' Mal's, one of the big clubs back in the late 90s. I want to say on Valentine's night, possibly a big sold out show at right when Hemorrhage had came out, was just taking over radio. You guys were still doing some club dates at the time. And so I go back way with you guys, at least, in spirit anyway. Never had the chance to meet you. But I just find it really cool that you guys have linked up, and it's like two guys that I follow in two completely different lives linked up and are doing a band together now. Like it's odd, but it's really cool at the same time. And did it come about because of Brett's appearance on the X5 show?
I'll let Brett take this one. I'll let him tell the story.
You know, I'm a carpe diem type of guy, and Charlie and I became friends and hit it off immediately, and we've been talking about doing stuff together and trying to figure out what we were going to do together. And then one day he was like, "Man, would you be interested in playing with Jacob and I in this band?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I'm in." You know, I've always been one of those people that, like, I don't care about being the lead singer or being this or being that, whatever. I'm a musician, and I love playing music and just being whatever kind of role I need to be in what we're doing. So, Charlie needed somebody who could sing with him and play guitar with him, and I fit the shoe pretty well, so I jumped in there with him.
Now, are you doing any of the co-writing on this?
Jacob and Charlie have written an amazing batch of songs, but as we progress, we're gonna, the plan is for us to work together on songwriting too.
100%.
100%. Well, no, it's cool. It's cool seeing Jacob and Dave Lynham and whatnot and all those guys in this. Like I said, they couldn't point me out of a lineup, but I've been following their careers for years and years and years. And they used to play the Dock here some back in the day. So I would go out and see them there and stuff. So I feel like I know those guys. And you host a podcast, it's kind of the same way. People watch you and they feel like they know you without knowing you, so it's like really pulling for you guys. And when I heard this thing drop, I was like, I love it. Like, I'm not just saying it because I feel like I have a connection with y'all. Like, I legitimately like this song. Actually, let's do this real quick, man. I got the hook pulled up here. Let's melt some people's brains real quick this morning. Get them ready to stop and have a beer at 8 o'clock in the morning. Here we go.
Let's go.
You get extra points for wearing a Bon Jovi slippery when wet shirt.
That's right. Mark, a good friend of mine, Mark Weiss. Shout out to Mark. Mark is, one of the most iconic rock photographers of the '80s.
Absolutely.
He actually, all the album covers and photo shoots back then. Most of the time it's Mark Weiss, and he had done that Slippery When Wet cover. The black, basically it's a trash bag with water on it, and Bon Jovi wrote Slippery and Wet on it with his fingers, and that was the album cover.
Yeah, I actually heard him tell that story not too long ago. I stumbled down some YouTube rabbit hole and saw him tell that story. And who's the other great photographer? Rob Halflin, I think is that maybe his name, from the '80s. Follows Motley Crue and them around a good bit. So many iconic photos between the two of them. It's insane.
So, and in our music, it's like, we're all actually Southern boys. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, but, Brett's from Tennessee, and, all the rest of the band is all Alabama boys. And, so, we grew up on, that's right. I wrote that, but we
Hill State.
We, have such an eclectic, cool mixture because we all grew up on, on country music and also, rock music, and that's kind of our, that's kind of our brand. That's kind of our recipe, man, for what we're doing is just bringing it together and, having fun with it and putting out good vibe stuff, man. When you crank it in your car, like, you're going to forget about your rough work week or your, whatever, and it's an escape. It's just good, positive vibe music, to have a good time too.
Y'all can both speak on this. Somewhere along the way, look, there's a place for, like, what I call smart people music, your Tools of the world and all of that. Yeah. There's a place and a time for that. But I'm at a point in my life, and I really always have been. My first concert ever was Poison, Open Up and Say I in Jackson, Mississippi with Brittany Fox and Lita Ford. And it ruined me, for better or worse, the rest of my concert music loving life. And I think my second concert was Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood tour with a Warren opening. And it was just, I've never been the same since. And you know what? I want my music. I want good times, emotions. I want to be able to pop a beer, have a party. I want a big hook I can sing along to. And then don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for that other stuff. Brett, I heard some of your side project stuff that's getting ready to come out on your appearance on X5 a few months ago, and I dig that stuff. But for me, I just want at the core my favorite stuff. If you went through my playlist, you're going to find stuff with big hooks, emotional, big ballad type stuff, big rock songs or big country songs that I can sing along to, and I ain't got to overthink it. And that's what this.
Well, these are songs that we consider to be easily digestible. So you don't have to think too much, So that's probably one of the most difficult songs to write, because anyone can be that deep, artistic, arty-farty guy who writes lyrics that have to be deciphered because you have no idea what they mean, But to be able to write songs that are just easily digestible, anyone can listen to and easily listen to what the lyrics are saying and meaning, and be able to relate to them. That is a really difficult thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, kudos. Y'all have accomplished that with this, and it's perfect time. It's just starting to warm up outside. I know that I had all my windows rolled down, my panoramic roof opened coming in this morning. It looks like it's going to rain now, and I had this jamming on the way in this morning, just trying to get some fresh air. And it's like, man, it's starting to feel like summer, and just kind of getting in the mood for it. I had to talk politics and my normal stuff for the first hour of the show, but deep down I was like, can I just talk music? I've been stoked about this. So, hey, let me ask y'all this.
Go ahead, Clay. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to step on you there. Just ask y'all this, man. Is there plans to take the show on the road? Can we get a show over here in Jacktown? I mean, what do we need to do to make that happen? Unplug, full band, something.
Well, there you are, man.
Yeah, 100%. We're actually, just to be straight up, we haven't released any of the dates yet. We've already got a lot of stuff coming up, and we will be making here over the next 2 weeks. We'll be releasing some dates with shows. So definitely, come check us out, and we're going to see about what we can do to get something over there and show you guys some love too.
Well, look, like I told you when I reached out to you, I'm also a promoter. So if you don't have somebody doing it, holler at me, and I'll do what I can to make it happen. We got several venues that I think this will fit in perfectly. So with full band or acoustic, however y'all want to do it, we'll make it happen on my end. Let me ask you this: are we looking at a full album here, or is this just we're going to do single by single? What's the plan?
Well, here's a spoiler alert. So we actually spent the last 2 years, and to be honest with you, we've already got 2 albums written, recorded, mastered, ready to go. So what we're doing right now is just releasing a few singles, and then we'll release the full record after that. And then we've already got the second one also ready to roll. We've been working our butts off. All the guys have, because when the creativity's flowing, you want to catch it in the bucket. You don't want to ever turn the tap off, right? And so I don't think we'll ever stop writing. Whether we use this stuff on a record or not, it's just the chemistry between me and Jacob Bunton, and now with Brett, it's almost scary, and also the chemistry live, just playing, it's just undeniable, and it's so much fun. And just to be honest with you, like I said, we don't overthink it. We just want to make. I want to make music my buddies can drink a beer to and have a good time. That's what we enjoy to do. It's not forced, supernatural, and that's kind of the MO. Just to be honest with you, and but the chemistry we have with these guys, with Brett Scallions, Jacob Bunton, David Lynham, Mark Desire, and Burt Wallace, it's just a good time, and it sounds pretty good, if I do say so myself. I don't want to throw my shoulder out of socket, patting myself on the back, but
I'll do it.
It's pretty cool.
Hey, let me ask this: do we have any ballads to look forward to?
We do.
Because there's nothing better than a ballad so good it makes you wish you were going through a breakup.
Yeah, we got a few that'll be released over the next little while, for sure. You got to have those in there,
Man, we are so excited. So much appreciate you guys jumping on the horn with us in Central Mississippi this morning.
Absolutely.
We got Charlie Reese. We got Brett Scallion, the Charlie Reese Project, the Charlie Reese Band, just Charlie Reese, and this is his band. And super excited to have those rock stars. I mean, look, Dave Lynam on drums. He's a madman. I mean, if people ain't seen Dave Lynam on drums, it's like watching Tommy Lee back there on drums. He's a madman. He's a rock star. You're going to get a show when you go see these guys.
Yeah. You never know what you're going to get with Dave. I mean, you'll look back there and he'll have a drumstick hanging out his nose, or he might be balancing one on his forehead, or he's single-handedly one of the most entertaining drummers to watch.
And then,
for sure.
And then you got Jacob, who's been out with Steven Adler, out with Mick Mars, of course, Lynam. Yeah. Just I could go on and on and on. The resumes of these guys. That's why I was so excited when I saw this. Like, I know the resumes, and I'm like, this is going to be good, and especially live. So I'm stoked.
Yeah,
I'm stoked. Look, how can everybody find it?
All right, Clay. Yeah, so. Obviously, it's Charlie Reese Music. So Charlie Reese Music on Spotify, all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Charlie Reese Music, and Reese is with a C, so it's spelled Reece.
I found that out Saturday.
Correct. Yeah, but anywhere music streamed, iTunes, Spotify, and then any social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, it's Charlie Reese Music.
Man, we appreciate it. Like I said, let me know if we can do anything on a Central Mississippi date over here in Jackson, Rankin County, something like that. We're ready for you. I really appreciate you. I know you got a busy week. Thank you for taking the time for a little old show over here in Jackson, Mississippi to call in. It's much appreciated. Nothing but love from over here. Brett, thank you. Charlie, thank you, brother. And we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Clay. We appreciate you, man.
Peace out.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was cool. This show up today. What did we not hit that I wanted to hit? We pretty much putting a button on the Shiloh Hendricks thing. She's the girl that got caught on tape calling an alleged 5-year-old black kid the N-word at a playground. Rochester Police Department has been doing some digging, and they have now sent this case to a prosecutor. Nobody knows if charges will stick. Hendricks claims the kid stole from her, and then she rakes in about $700,000 for protection, while the NAACP pulled in about $341,000 for the kid's family. The alleged pedophile that was there at the park filming all this has raised about $50,000 himself for protection. It seems like everybody got paid on this. I mean, if you're out there right now and you could take the smoke, it seems like a good retirement plan to go find, I'm talking about white folks out there and my black folks. Maybe y'all should team up, because there are some people saying this whole thing was rigged and it's a psyop for them to all get rich. And you know what? I'm starting to believe it. But either way, that may be a good retirement plan. Just go find some random, you try that in the South, man. You go up to some black mom with her kid at the park and you call her kid the N-word. The only GoFundMe you getting is one for your funeral. And there's going to be like shirts airbrushed of you with wings and all kind of stuff. Like we make fun of these future rocket scientists and all that. I know these Southern women. That ain't playing down here. You ain't doing that in the South. We disagree on a lot. That ain't happening. That ain't happening down here. I reverse my opinion. That is not a solid retirement plan down here. It will get you killed. I mean, don't you watch the news? They kill each other. These women are crazy down here. Didn't you see that video I posted from Margaritas the other day? That was all women fighting them bouncers. And bouncer was fighting for his life up in there. Fighting for his life, son. Abort mission. Abort mission. We'll be right back to land the plane for the day. Y'all don't go nowhere. Online audience, stick with me for a minute. Radio, we'll be right back.